All right, folks. I decided to do an impromptu surprise live stream at 4 o'clock. Here we are in the afternoon. So there was a package outside for me a little while ago, and I thought, "Oh, this is it," because it was a big like record album size box, and I thought it might be the Beatles store. The Beatles, that stupid, unreliable Beatles lousy store that's isn't sending anybody their stuff that they already pre-ordered a while ago yet. Well, turned out not to be the right package, so I did not get what I wanted. So, hello, Robbie. Hello, Henry. Hello, Gregory. Hello, Mike. Hello, Tom, Mr. Beatles Pro. And I said that about the Beatles store at the exact perfect time because I know Mr. Beatles Pro is pissed off too. He's not getting his stuff, and God, it's ridiculous. Hello, Barcelona. Yeah, the Beatles store is the worst. And the only real, I don't know why I did it really. I don't know why I did it. I don't know. There's no well, for the cassette tape. The cassette tape you can't just get anywhere. I did order the cassette tape, but I guess I don't mind waiting for the cassette tape. I could show that a month from now. But I wanted to get all the vinyl early. So, and I say the biggest kick in the pants is that after I ordered these, pre-ordered them, um, I found out that two stores that I know carried the same items that I ordered. And I could have just walked in there and out in the same day and gotten them. That's why I can't stand online ordering, and I always prefer in store when possible. Okay, Mr. Beatles Pro says he's got the notification for the 14th. That's still unacceptable. That's still too far off. Okay, CD man, I got the last now and then vinyl at Newberry Comics. TCB Mike says he's holding out on ordering the red and the blue until he hears some reviews on it. I'm not too happy. I've already heard a few things about some of the tracks, and it doesn't sound like I'm going to be liking the red and the blue. But I'm going to reserve it. I mean, reserve opinion, really, and look, obviously until I hear it for myself. But I'm not really expecting to like it. So big surprise, right? For Giles Martin. With Giles Martin at the helm, you're going to get a lot of problems with the songs, as far as I'm concerned. So, hi there, Nicholas. I don't know what the Yellow Submarine pencil set is. So here we are. All right. Even though it's not the morning, I do have a cup of green tea. I don't know about anybody else, but green tea, I don't taste much with green tea. Hello, James. Hello, Danny Ambrosi. Yeah, of course you got to hear the songs for yourself. But I already was hoping that I couldn't really hear a lot of bongos on a hard day's night, and already I'm hearing that there are bongos galore on it. Hello, Thomas, Jean. Okay, Wheelhouse Projects talking about his the pencil sharpener, eraser. It's not my thing. Clear pencil pouch. Yeah, I like to. I don't mind the pencil case and things from the '60s. As kind of a real collectible for the time. Hello, Doc. So you telling me you could have possibly come up here? I was going to do StreamYard where I could maybe have people come up, and we have people who might have been able to come up here. Hey, John Swanner Music says I totally misjudged the Ringo Rewind Forward EP. It's good, and it's a shame it's getting buried by the Stones and now and then. Yep. Well, yeah. I didn't. What did Rewind Forward do on the charts? I don't even know. So yeah, you know, I mean, I could have just watched TV. I've got movies to watch, hundreds of movies that I got to watch, and my movie channel has just kind of been like stagnant with all this Beatles stuff. But I like connecting with the people, so that's why I'm here. Doc, if you want, it's up to you. If you're presentable and your hair is fixed and you want to go on, let me know, and I can just go over to Streamyard and we can have Danny Ambrosi come up. Maybe, I don't know. Your hair is a disaster area. Do what I do. Put on a cap. My hair's a disaster area too. I don't know if you noticed. Well, these headphones are good because I could just like brush the hair as good as I can get it and put these headphones on and that hides some of it. So yeah. That's interesting. Gab O Power 10 says it's getting a bit confusing now as to which is the proper version to listen to. The original is from the 60s era, the 87 CD, the 2009, or the new remixes. I guess whatever you like. I guess, there really there were a lot of options. Let's put it that way. You having Taco Bell now? Delicious Taco Bell. I'm trying not to eat that crap right now, and it's tough. I fully admit it because I'm sitting here with a cup of tea, and I had eggs. I mean, I had eggs at like I don't know 10:30 this morning. I had a couple of eggs, and then about an hour ago, I had a couple of pieces of cheese, and now I'm just eating like that. No bread. You know. Hello, George. Good to see you. So, yeah, I don't know how long I'll be on. It depends how we do here. How the questions go. I'm a little lost with the potato chips thing. I forget. I'm not sure what happened. I might have missed a video or something. I think you did another taste thing, right? Are you saying? I think you had a video up with a taste test. How much do I think the love for now and then is because of the video and not the song? I think the video has a lot to do with it. It does in my case. The song on its own is okay, not bad. It's decent, but it's fantastic with the video. So, yeah. But as long as we're having fun and we're enjoying it, a lot of people out there that aren't enjoying anything. You know what I mean? So I feel sorry for those people. Okay. Yes. I can't read the name. Mikhail or Michael or Mikhail got a notification for the 17th. Penny Lane, you're in my ears and in my eyes. I tell you, Penny Lane, it's the same old thing, but I need to relax. Penny Lane, I just gotta relax. The real Jackson, yes, I did see that video you're talking about, and I didn't care for it. And I say all the time that the guy you're talking about has a lot of good videos. He's I respect what he does, and he's honest, and that's always important with me. Be honest. But I just didn't like that he was making fun of other people and their channels and stuff like that, and what they said on their channel, that kind of thing. But honest opinion. But I just do feel sorry for him. I just wish he could enjoy this. That's all. I think some people are analyzing this too much and getting too caught up on it's not the Beatles and it's a look. It was a lousy demo, definitely. I think not everybody thinks it was a lousy demo. I know people who love the John Lennon demo. I was not one of them, but I do like what they did with this record, and even more the video with the record. So I'm going to enjoy myself. How do I think the Beatles thing will go on the U.S. Billboard chart? I don't think it'll hit number one. It might hit the top 10. I don't know. Are they saying anything yet? Because I really hope it's number one. I mean, I wouldn't be satisfied with anything less than number one for this. But if it's number one in England, it looks like it either is it's already number one in England or it's going to be. It's still a number one. The Beatles have a number. It goes down as a Beatles number one record, whether it's England, the U.S., or one or the other. Or both, both. Doesn't matter. Any new vinyl finds, Robbie? Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I have some very interesting, I think, Beatles vinyl finds. Not all Beatles. I got some other stuff too, but mostly I got some Beatles stuff that's going to be fun. So yeah. Yeah, I know how you feel. You say you're bummed out. You're bummed out that you don't have the record. You wanted to celebrate and get in the excitement with everyone, but it sucks when it really does. It does ruin it not getting the records. All right. What are my thoughts that the Beatles is trending number two on YouTube, and number one is Megan the Stallion? I think it's an indication of the sad times we live in. The name alone, Megan the Stallion, is absurd. So, well, I don't like the. I'm being honest with you. I'm not satisfied with real. Keep saying real love now and then. I'm not satisfied with now and then being in the top 10. I wanted it to be number one in the Billboard. You know, top 10 is still all right for a band that was so old as they are, but this is a big sensation. This thing. Yeah. Um, I don't know, folks. I'm sorry. I don't think that this green tea is doing anything to help out with anything. To tell you the truth, oh, it's so healthy green tea. Fuck that. In plain English. Fuck that. Okay. I felt better when I was drinking soda. Honestly. Scott, no, I didn't. I didn't waste my time. I'm not. I'm personally. I'm not interested in seeing videos of people doing a 1964 style version and now and then. I'm not interested in that. But everybody's different. A lot of people like that kind of thing. I don't. Well, I agree with you, Gabo Para. Oh, I didn't know this. Yeah, I didn't know this. Klaus says, "Hey, sorry we didn't get the chance to meet in the store when I was in New York. I tried to contact you, but I guess you didn't get the message." I didn't. Sorry about that. What do I think of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes coming out next May? Something worth seeing in the movie theater. So little worth seeing anymore or interesting me at all that you know, you know. Let's see. Alex, I'm not really big on action movies. I mean, it depends. I mean, I don't like action movies as a genre itself. I'm sure there's action movies I do like. Your name is pronounced like Michael. It's Mike with an L. Okay. Tanner Johnson, hello again. Uh, you like the demo of Now and Then, but you feel that the Beatles version is a big improvement in many ways. Yep. Anybody else? We've got 82 people, but not a lot of comments. I I look, I don't know how in the world I didn't get your message. I don't understand that, Klaus, because I would have tried to make a point to be there. But unless when were you here? I mean, I was just in Oklahoma. Were you there when I was in Oklahoma? Hello, Peaky. Once again, I haven't seen you here as much. You're looking forward, Scott, to my Red and Blue album review. Fingers crossed. I expect, if everything goes the way I plan, I expect to be able to get the Red and the Blue albums tomorrow morning. And if I get them tomorrow morning, I'm going to be listening to them during the day. And I'm hoping that at nighttime, hopefully, I could have a review up at Thursday night. That's what I'm hoping. Wes Beck. I did not get a chance to check out the Bob Dylan Center. We only were there for a couple of days, and I really had a rush. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people say that they should have put "Free as a Bird" and "Real Love" on there too. I agree. No, I know. Well, not that I wanted on the Blue album, but I would have liked an EP, a separate record, an EP or something. Thank you, George. I'm glad you liked that video, the video of us after we watched the video now and then. I heard there's video footage of John recording Double Fantasy. Will we ever get to see this in a deluxe Double Fantasy box set? I'm very doubtful of that. I don't know what's around. A lot of the stuff is supposedly destroyed, or I don't know how true that is. There's very little of him in a red outfit doing I'm losing you. That's all I know that's around. Woodland Goblin, hello, Woodland. Beetle Eddie, hello. Do I think they messed up not putting Helter Skelter on the Blue album? I've been having doing so many shows about this. I love Helter Skelter. Should it have been? Should it have been? Well, no. I'm glad they didn't put it on. Do you know why? Because I hate the version that's on the White Album. Giles Martin completely screwed up Helter Skelter. That's one of the songs he screwed up, and I'm glad that that version was not on the Blue Album. How's that? And besides, like I say, you have to leave some of the deeper cuts, some of the meat and potatoes for the actual regular catalog albums. You can't put everything on there. Well, I don't know what happened, Klaus. I do feel bad. Yeah, I don't know how the hell. I didn't know about you being there. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sorry I missed you. I would have liked to see you. Dave Carr says I would have liked the Rubber Soul box set. We're gonna get one. Relax. No, yeah, I know you wanted it fast. Now, today, everybody wants things now. I know how you feel. Me too. But I'm the same as you. But when it comes to Rubber Soul, we're gonna get one. Just relax, as I'm trying to do now. James Gracia, the Ringo cutout as a cop is a store display advertisement for Stop and Smell the Roses, the album, and in 1981, and they used to have it in record stores. Yes, I like Savoy truffle as well. What did I do with Tug of War? Right now, Tug of War is in the box behind my love seat in the living room. I mean, I could take it out. I could string, if I put it anywhere right now, I'll try to put it here somehow, but who knows? I want to get out of this apartment and get another apartment. Why didn't John record now and then during the double fantasy sessions? Well, I suspect for one thing that it was uh he didn't consider it a good song. For one thing, it wasn't a great demo. I maintain, and also it wasn't complete. Doc, this is the second time, Doc, you've mentioned about Taylor Swift. See, people don't really realize this. A lot people think that sometimes that if I don't acknowledge their comment that I haven't seen it. I saw your comment. I don't want to start any Taylor Swift stuff again. I couldn't care less about Taylor Swift. And by the way, I heard my first Taylor Swift songs today, 3 of them. I went on Google and it was anybody listening who was a Swiftie out there. And none of them did anything for me. I looked on Google and I looked like what's the top 50 Taylor Swift songs or the top 30, and I put the top ones. The first one of them was "Shake It, Shake It Down" or whatever. What's it called? Something like that with shaking it. Nothing. There was another one. Oh, "She Belongs with You" or something like that. "I Belong with You," something like that. Nothing. And then the best one was a deeper track that's supposed to be her best track or one of her best tracks. "Shake It Off." Shake It Off. Yeah, and it did nothing. And one of her best tracks, and I forget the name of it. Tell me if I say it, if it sounds a little like it, you'll know what I mean. There's a 5 minute version and a 10 minute version that she redid. I like the 5 minute. I heard I don't like it. I heard the 5 minute version, and you can tell me what the name of it is. What the hell is it? Tell me the name of it. All well and good, all well, or something like that. Well, something like that. And it was deep, it was meaningful, but it didn't do anything for me anyway. I mean, really, it did. I'm not just trying to be difficult. So I'm like, all right, I heard 3 of the so-called best Taylor Swift songs. They didn't do much for me. Everybody, I don't understand. Everybody being so in love with Taylor Swift, it's hard for me to understand, but that's what it is. Yeah, now and then means more and more every day to you. The more you hear it, true, true. I know you're saying now and then has a rough road to the top. You said it a couple of times, Doc. Yeah, I know. She's in everybody's way, and it's annoying. And that's what I said in my video. She's in everybody's way, and I'm sure people don't appreciate it. And over nothing, because I heard the 3 of the songs, they don't do nothing for me. And I'm like, I know she's got way more than just 3 songs, but they're supposedly among the top 10 of her best stuff. I looked it up. So yeah. What type of red and blue albums am I getting? I'm getting the CD sets, the red and the blue CD, and I'm also getting the color vinyl, which I almost don't care. If there was a way of canceling that, if I could still cancel it, I would. All Too Well. Okay, All Too Well. The song All Too Well. All Too Well was better than Shake It Off and that other one that was called You what is the thing? Belong to Us or something? I don't know. All Too Well was the best of the 3 I heard, but that's not my thing, it's just not my thing. What do you think of the Kanye West McCartney tracks? I had nothing. I don't think much of them at all, tell you the truth. Yeah, All Too Well, that's the one. Yeah, Mr. Beatles Pro said also. I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up with everybody. Yeah, I know. We always get this. West says, your reaction to listening to Shake It Off probably was similar to what folks your age in the 60s thought I would want to hold your hand. Yes, I understand that. The difference is I want to hold your hands up on a fight rock classic. You know, Shake It Off is not a rock classic. Never will be. So there you go. I mean, really, not for nothing. Come on, guys. Yeah, our parents didn't get Elvis and our parents didn't get the Beatles, but obviously they're both classic, you know. Uh I don't think she's that great. John Lalo says it's because Taylor has long legs and she looks kind of good. I mean, I've seen a lot better. No offense. I mean, she's not an unattractive woman, but for God's sake, it's kind of on the plain side. I think, as far as like these stars go, man. I think not much to me, Thomas Jean. No, not at all. Okay, Garrett Murphy. Okay. That's why there's Coke and Pepsi. Well, bad analogy. I like Coke and Pepsi when I was drinking soda, so that doesn't really work too much. Doesn't work too well, Coke and Pepsi. I like both. Yep. Do I think the red and the blue will generate a lot of new young Beatle fans? I hope so. If they can do their so-called streaming or whatever they do, maybe if they stream them, because they're not going to physically buy them because they're too damn expensive for one thing. Yeah, Bridget Bardot is much more gorgeous, no doubt about it. But beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Young fans can stream everything. Having a new compilation album set means nothing to them. I agree. I think you're right. And you know what? I pity them. But be that as it may, to each his own, and that's how it is these days. I like tall girls, actually. Yes, I do like them tall, but I like them with a little more meat on their bones. Okay, so all you 96 people that are watching this, just the way it is. She looks like a 5'11" ironing board. And that's whatever. St. Martin's. I've been talking about the cover art for Now and Then forever. Talking about this cover art. This cover art, I've said, I hate this cover art. It's dull, it's unimaginative, it's boring as all hell. It's one of the worst Beatle covers of anything they've ever been associated with. Having said that, like a lot of people are saying, after loving the video and loving the song, this is starting to grow on me a little bit. Don't ask me how or why. Growing on me because of its simplicity. I don't know, but I still would have liked to have more. Something more creative. Definitely. Smash that like button. In other words, help donate to the cause. Um, do I think the simplicity of the cover is a reference to the White Album? I think the artist that did this never gave one thought about the White Album. Honestly, that's my opinion. Would I be wasting my time if I went to Target when it opens Friday morning in search of the new Red and Blue albums? I have no idea. Do I reckon? I have no idea. Luckily for me, I know somebody I'm going to get them from. But um, I don't know. I'd like to think Target would have them. I would think they'd have to have them. Do I put Paul Simon's songwriting in the same class as Lennon and McCartney? Yes, I do. Paul Simon is one of my favorite songwriters. 104 people and only 20 press like. So what? Doesn't bother me none. What I want them to do is press the dollar sign. The like button's nice, but the dollar's even better. That's right, I said it. As sometimes, as some talk show host I know says, "That's right, I said it." You guys sometimes you got to ask, if anybody's interested. But I'm having fun here. So, thoughts on Oasis? I have none. I don't care about Oasis, honestly. Couldn't care less. Uh, Bernie Taupin, yeah, well, Bernie Taupin and Elton John together, yes, great. Let me put it this way. Henry says I recently listened to one of Taylor Swift's songs. I didn't hate it. Kind of reminded me of a Madonna song. Well, in my opinion, when I listened to three Taylor Swift songs today for my first time, they make Madonna sound like a genius. Not I, oh I, oh a lot of people listen watching this are going to freak out with that. I have look. I've only heard three songs by Taylor Swift. I hear she's a great songwriter, great lyricist. All I know is I like Madonna better than Taylor Swift based on what I've heard so far. And I haven't heard anything but 3 songs, but there you go. Uh, a couple of the songs I listened to were bubblegum, but and some people will say, "Well, the Beatles were bubblegum." Yeah, yeah, but they turned it around pretty damn quick, Yep. Was the Lennon song "India" ever released? I don't know about that. Wow, I don't think so. Yoko is 90, right? That is correct. Well, Woodland Goblin says Madonna must be so jealous of Taylor Swift. Madonna's a washed up old lady right now. Well, that's what's going to happen to Taylor Swift too. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. I look let the girl have her time, and people keep reminding me she didn't. She's been out for 15 years. She's been out here over like 15 years. She's had this amazing career. It's still her time. It's still the 21st century. She belongs in this era, but I don't think she's going to be hailed that much in the future. But Nobody knows 100% the future. The only thing I do is I just look back at all the other people and I see what happened to Adele. Seems like not too long ago, everything was Adele, Adele, Adele. Everything was huge hits by Adele. And Mariah Carey. What happened to them? You know? Yeah, I know what you mean. The son of Dracula, Lee. I know what you mean. Yes, indeed. Ralph Gomez, I have no idea when the vinyl is going to come in the mail for me because I've heard nothing from the Beatles store. So that's a shame. Uh, Hello, Spring Heel Jim. What's the good word? Do I think there will be a big to do about Yoko's death when it happens? Yes, I do. And I am already prepared for a lot of cruel people out there to, say a lot of nasty things when it happens, unfortunately. Although, Curtis, what's my favorite Beatles album? The Beatles' second album on Capitol Records is my favorite Beatles album. That confuses a lot of people. Do you think Edith should have stayed with Archie when he cheated on her? It wasn't a cheat. It was a kiss. That's it. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. I don't think, and I think that's why it worked in the episode. If it had been anything serious, then who knows? Yeah, a lot of questions coming. Hard to keep up with them right now. John Alelo, if Now and Then was recorded in 1968, would it go down as one of their best top 50? No, I do not think Now and Then is one of the best Beatles songs, but no, not even close. I think the reason it works is because it's very emotional, and it works as a swan song, an emotional goodbye to their career. But as a song itself, I don't think it's one of their best songs. Kanye had a great career, Henry says. He was super popular until he got canceled for doing insane shit. What I consider is he did things that not allowed. You know what I mean? Don't get me started on that stuff, Henry. Whatever you do, don't get me started on that stuff, okay? Because we live in a world where it's disgusting the way people cannot have different opinions and different ways of thinking. Otherwise, they get thrown out. And it doesn't matter what side you're on, whether you're left, right, middle, center, whatever you are. I'm so sick and tired of that. It's a disgusting world. And what's good for the goose is not always good for the gander. And, some people get in trouble while others don't. And some people do the same things or worse and nothing happens, that kind of thing. So, um, I don't care about Kanye West. I personally never cared for the guy. I never liked him much or his attitude. But that's how I feel about that. Believe me. Hello, Canadian stud muffin, Larry Graves. What's going on? You ordered the red and the blue. Uh, you hope that you get them Friday morning. Yes, I'm excited to hear them too, Larry. For sure. Thanks for doing your video on the now and then clear vinyl. Persuaded me to get a copy of it. It's good, great. Have you ever made videos about my favorite Hamburg Beetle tapes? No, I was going to make one in December of 2022 for the anniversary, and I forgot to. I was going to say that I really think it's much ado about nothing. I was going to say, but there's a possibility that if Peter Jackson's technology can fix the sound, we might get something that's really interesting. That's how I feel about that. Uh, okay. A New Day 42 says, "How about a reappraisal of Gone Troppo? I realize it's not George's best record, but no way near the worst in my opinion. It's very close to the bottom, if not the bottom. I can't tell whether Gone Troppo is George's least or whether it's Extra Texture. I have a hard time between those two, but I still enjoy it more than I did when it first was released, all at the same time. That I say that. And if you watch an episode we did, whoop, what's this? A telemarketer. Should I do a rant video? Freaking telemarketer ruining my live stream. Anyway, so um, yeah, if you look at Talk More Talk, the show, and look it up, there's a show we did another. It's called Another Listen. We gave on Troppo another listen, and I know most of us were good with it. I personally like it a little better than I did then, but I still think it's one of his least for sure. Um, do you think Paul or Ringo will ever make new Beatles songs out of George demos? I don't think so. I don't think they'd ever do that. Do you think the Red and Blue will break the top 10 1 week after release? I hope so. Hello to Caitlin Larkin here. Adele has a sold out residency in Vegas, and Mariah is the new queen of Christmas. Okay. I guess. I'll stick with Brenda Lee and all those. I'm an old fashioned guy, and Burl Ives and all those guys. But I know what you mean. Uh, I've heard that. Uh, what's my thoughts on the stripped down version of Double Fantasy? It took some getting used to. At first, I didn't like that they did it actually at all, and now I kind of enjoy parts of it. I haven't heard it in a long time, actually, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, Lee, I hope you're right. A crystal clear Lennon vocal in "Free as a Bird" would be magnificent when it happens. I really hope they do it. I really hope they use the technology to make a better version of "Free as a Bird" and "Real Love." I really hope so. Oh, definitely. Well, let's see something. John Alelo says Karen Carpenter puts Taylor Swift to shame. Of course, vocally, Karen Carpenter is one of the queens. Anybody agree? Even people who like Taylor Swift, vocally, Karen Carpenter blows Taylor Swift's voice away. And my girlfriend, who's a professional trained singer, often says she says Taylor Swift is a very smart businesswoman, and she's a pretty good writer. She's mostly good at writing, but she can't carry a tune in a bucket. That's what my girlfriend says. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay, that's what she says. Um, she doesn't think Taylor Swift is an exceptional singer, and based on the songs I've heard so far, I don't think so either. Do I like Chrissy Hind and the Pretenders? Yes, very much. I like Chrissy Hind. Yes. Woodland Goblin says, "Yeah, the only song the mainstream actually knows from Mariah Carey is her Christmas song," and I agree. That's the only song I've ever heard of, and that one took me a while. Yeah. I love all these people that have all these songs. They have so many hits, so many songs. Nobody knows any except people that are fans. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. When it's enough to permeate the whole landscape and the whole climate and the whole planet, then you got some good classic stuff there. Okay, Ralph Gomez. Okay, very good, very good. You get the notice. Okay, like I'm caught up right now, so we're good. You know what a lot of people say? Come on, everybody, smash that like button. Help with the algorithm. Smash that like button. I never do that. Yo, everybody, smash, smash. Come on, let me see how many people could smash that like button. Can anybody? I don't know. We got A few people there were there you go. Somebody smashed the like button. I appreciate that. It really it works, you know. People do help out when you say that. I never think that's why I say smash that dollar sign. Smash that dollar sign. Yeah, smash, smash. You know, sometimes it works. You know, oh, what do you got to lose? I got Beatles stuff to buy here to show you. There's that one then up there. You know, you know, I'm a poor retired guy with with a modest pension. Oh, boo hoo. I know. I know people out there watching this right now. I know you are. And people are watching this and they're going, I listen to this guy begging and all this kind of stuff. I don't do it that often. You know, I don't do it that often. You know that. And, you know, I know that people go on other streams and talk about me and say, hey, you know, I saw him begging for money. Hey, you know, good luck to you. Hopefully you'll be able to do the same one day. You know, don't let it bother you. Cheers to you. Mm, all right. Lee says the new Blue album edition decisions are growing on me. How about you? Not yet. Not yet. Sandy Shaw, no. What do you think Kiss's next move will be? To retire, I hope. Let's see. Did you ever think in 2023 the Beatles would release a new song that made number one? I didn't think they'd release a new song, but I knew that if they released a new song, it could and would be number one. But it wasn't, you know, I knew that, but I didn't know that. I didn't know if they would ever release another song. Robbie. Yeah, I feel bad. It's always the same people. Thank you. And again, should I say the usual thing? It's not a requirement. It's not a prerequisite. You don't have to do it. It just would be nice. You know, it helps. You know, big deal. Do you like Green Day? I like. You know, it's funny. I do like a few songs by Green Day. I do. I mean, you know, you know, I think they've got a good sound. I like this sound. Out of the newer bands. When I say newer bands, I know they were around in the '90s, and I know they've been around for a long time. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I know they're not brand new, 2023. But I mean, to me, new is like the '90s and beyond. So, out of the bands from that era, they're one of the better ones, I think. Is that okay with everybody? I think people like that. Have I seen the remake of the Wolfman? Yeah, I did. And out of all those lousy new monster remakes, like the Mummies and all that crap they've done, and Van Helsing and all that garbage, I would say the Wolfman was one of the better ones, or it wasn't as bad as the other ones. Let's put it that way. A Mean Mr. Mayo shirt would be great. Well, I've been planning on that for years, way before COVID, and never did it. And I'm sure one day it's going to happen. Believe me. I don't know when, but it will happen because I have an idea. A cool shirt would be like a black shirt with like a sort of Jackson Pollock type splash design in white for the Mayo with Mr. Mayo on the front. Yeah, we need a shirt with your face with the sideways cap from the digital download saga. Huh, I like that. Am I getting Green Day's new Saviors album? Hell no. Do you have Badfinger's Hits LP vinyl? No, but I do have a CD compilation of their best stuff. Thank you everybody for the thumbs up. I appreciate hitting the like buttons. I don't really care if the like button, except that I hear that if you hit the like button, it helps somewhat with the algorithms. You know what I mean? So thank you. Robbie says, "Thank you, Joe. Your shows make my day." Well, your comments like that make my day because, as I say, there's nothing better than if you know you do this stuff and people appreciate that you do it. I mean, there's no point in doing it if people don't have a good time or like it or whatnot. So thanks for that. It's always good. Um, Paul McCartney's worst song. Um, Secret Friend, I don't like. I don't like the song Get Enough that was on a single or on Egypt Station Time too much. Uh, Man, always one I forget. Back in Brazil, I think is one of his worst songs. These are just ones that pop to my mind. I'm sure there are others, but always got to have that back in my pocket. Darlene Love is the real Christmas queen, though. I'll take that. Does your wife ever complain about your Beatles stuff? My girlfriend, Miss Mayo, she not only does she not complain, she encourages me to buy more. She appreciates collecting. She collects stuff herself, not records and stuff, and she knows what it's like. If you watch the video, she came with me in Oklahoma and helped me get the. She was very excited for me to get the Red Target Now and Then vinyl. She was the one that insisted that I get the George Harrison All Things Must Pass Uber box, even when I myself was thinking, I don't need this. Do I really need this? It's expensive. And you gotta have it. Put it on a credit card. Pay it off in installments, but you gotta have it. And that's the kind of, and I wouldn't be with her otherwise. Let me make that clear. I would never be with a partner that would never support what I do or give me nagging and hell for what I do. That we wouldn't be together. That would, right away, I lay it on the line. This is what I am, and it's what So, and she's luckily for me, she's good with that. I don't get me wrong. There are times, very rarely, very occasionally, where if we're in dire straits financially, she might think this is not a good time to be buying a lot of stuff. But you know what? I do it anyway. She is, yay! And it helps if people make little tips. It helps because then you get a little bit more to work with. So now and then has been very good to me that way. Oh yeah, the now and then blitzes. I'm admitting it freely. I don't care. I used to frown on that type of thing too. I used to frown on it and say, "Oh, these people, wow, all they want to do is make revenue." Let me tell you this. I used to say never. People used to say to me, "You should try to get some revenue for your channel." I said, "No, no, I'm not gonna. I'm not here for that." You know the old thing. That's not what I'm here for, right? Which I'm not. I'm not. Because I resisted it. I started in 2011 is when I started my 12. I'm sorry, 2012 is when I. No, it's not true, Caitlin. I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to that in a minute. Uh, 2012 is when I started my channel, and it took me to 2019, all the way to 2019 before I tried that. And I always say, if it ended tomorrow, I wouldn't change a thing. I would continue to do what I do, because the first reason I do this is for to meet people out there, for the pleasure it gives me, and to the interaction. It's fun. It's a good time. Um, I've met a lot of people. That's the number one reason. The other thing is the icing on the cake. But I think it's wrong. People. It's very easy when you have no prayer, no hope whatsoever, as I once didn't of even getting there, to think, why is he, who cares, But then once you do, why not? I mean, I'm retired now. I have a small pension. I'm not getting Social Security yet. Um, so why not? I put a lot of work into it. I put a lot of time into it. I put a lot of effort into it. So I have a whole nother feeling about it. A whole nother feeling about it. What do you mean? My channel is the only one without commercials. There should be commercials in there. There should be plenty of commercials in there. Will I do a Beatles on my? Sorry, Aiden says, will you do a video on your Beatles vinyl collection? Martin McGrath was banned many times, but I can't resist his feistiness, so he's back. I don't know if you know that, but spread the word. Martin McGrath is unbanned. He's unblocked. Um, but anyway, will I do a video of my Beatles vinyl collection? Well, the way I look at that, Aiden, is you have to go into my playlists. If you go into my playlists and you go to the thing that says new Beatles finds or Beatles, I could call it Beatles collection, but right now it's called the new Beatles finds. And you will see that I every time I get new stuff, I put it in there. I have I don't know how many videos I have, under 200, between 150 to 200 or something like that, you know. So Yeah, he's an infamous Mayo troll who denies being a troll. Doesn't think he's being a troll. He's got mental issues, but nevertheless, it's always fun. I can't resist him once in a while. It's fun. But we'll see. Um. Anyway, so yeah. So as far as making videos where I show my Beatles vinyl collection, I'm sure from time to time I'll spotlight certain items. But if you really want to follow them, the best thing to do is just watch out for new Beatles finds. And I definitely have a whole section and playlists devoted to that. So there we go. I don't know what you mean. Patrick says, "Me, Mr. Mayo's channel is the only one that doesn't stop for video commercials, because it should be stopping. That's where the revenue comes in. It should be stopping for commercials. But anyway, Joe, why no kids? Answer if you want to. Well, it turns out it's a good thing because if I would have had kids, I would have had kids with my ex-wife. I had a wife once, and I'm glad they didn't have to go to a divorce or anything. But if I did have kids, I realize you have to devote a lot of your time to your kids. I don't believe you just have kids and then you just do your own thing. You have to kind of sacrifice yourself and sacrifice your own time and your own life for kids. And I think my girlfriend now and me, we both feel the same way. We're not willing to do that. We want to live our lives. We don't want to sacrifice them or give them up for the kids. To be honest. Okay, now having said that, once you get to be an age where you could be a grandfather, it would be nice to have grandchildren. I'm not saying no. It'd be nice to think there's gonna be some kids there that maybe could help you out when you get older, but there's no guarantee, as I'm sure some of you may know, there's no guarantee that just because you have children, that when you get to be old, they're gonna even give a damn. They might put you in an old age home. That's right. Everybody thinks, they have children, they'll have somebody to help them take care of them as they get old, but that's not necessarily a given, right? I know a relative of mine that was like almost she was in her 90s. She was in her 90s and she wasn't doing well, and she had like four or five children and like 10 grandchildren, 15 grandchildren, and she still wound up in a home. So who the heck knows? But anyway, so yeah. And I always say, oh, it would be nice to, oh, you have a son and you can share the things you like with him, but there's no some sons, you've seen them before, right? Some children, they gravitate towards what their dad likes. But some of them are rebellious, so they try to stay away from that. The Beatles, the hell with that. So you don't know how it's going to work. But so do I regret? Overall, do I regret having no kids? Not at all. But there's a couple of benefits that in old age that would be nice. It'd be nice to have kids and grandkids and going to their places for the holidays and stuff. But when I think of all I would have had to give up in order to have that, I don't know if I'd want to give that all up. So, hello, Disney fan. David from Sebring, Florida. I've been a Beatles fan and collector for over 50 years. That's fantastic. Thank you. Welcome aboard. You've never seen a commercial on my channel? I don't know if that's possible. Never seen an ad on my channel. I don't understand that. That can't be true. I watch videos back of my own. I've seen them. In the 30s and 40s, was there such a thing as a mad scientist laboratory contractor? I don't know about that. Yeah. So anyway, all right, folks, we're up to almost an hour. If you have a subscription, you don't get commercials. I didn't know that. It's hard to believe too. I didn't think that was the case. I don't like hearing that, but anyway, I don't know how that works, but, I didn't think it mattered. I didn't think it mattered if you had a subscription or not. I didn't know that that had anything to do with it. Do you have a backstory on being a Beatles fan? Oh, it's always yeah, told it many times. I know you haven't heard it yet, but, I was born in 1962, so, I didn't see them on Ed Sullivan, uh but I remember when I was 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, I had some Beatles records that was I used to watch the Beatles cartoon show. The Beatles cartoons were on Saturday mornings, and they played, music. There was music in those Beatle cartoons, and I got to know the songs. And yeah, I like their music, and I like their personalities and all that. So I became a Beatles fan when I was 3, 4, 5 years old in the 1960s. And then, as the Beatles started to get to look like hippies, and they got the long hair and everything, kind of, about 6 years old, I forgot about them. So there I am, 6 years old. I'm already like, okay, I forgot all about the Beatles. Then when I was about 12 years old, 13, 12, and 13, a friend of mine had an album collection of Beatles, and then it took me right back to being 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that's how I started. So I got into collecting around 1975, I want to say. Is when I got into heavy collecting of the Beatles. Really became a real big, big, big fan in 75, but I knew about them in like 65, 66, 67. And that's it. That's the best way I could describe it. Let's see. Yoko, Linda, Pat, and Patty. Who was the nicest when you met them, Joe? All three of them were nice. Yes, Yoko was extremely nice. Linda was extremely nice, and Patty was extremely nice. I will say, in the case of Patty, though, that was just this year when I met her at the Fest for Beatles fans. She's in a situation where she's there to sell books, and I'm not trying to take anything from Patty. I don't know. She was at the convention, so she's maybe going to be extra nice. And then, uh, Yoko I met in 1994, and but I went to the Dakota, and she came out. So um, that wasn't a prearranged convention or anything. She was nice. And then I had met Linda in 1993, the year before, when she was at the hotel, for Saturday Night Live with Paul on Saturday Night Live, and she was nice too. So there you go. Uh, did your parents take you to see Help in the theater in '65? Believe I have a memory now. In 1965, I'd only be 3. Okay, and I liked the Beatles then, and I have a memory. I tell everybody this story. My mother doesn't remember it, but she's funny. She remembers seeing a movie with the Beatles when they're in the snow, and of course, Help is when they're in the snow. The Ticket to Ride segment, and she doesn't remember going to the movie theater, but I do because I remember. I don't. I remember coming out screaming and crying like 3 years old, because I didn't want to go, didn't want to leave, and that's a memory that I have. And I kind of think that it was Help, you know, because she said she didn't like Help. My mother is never a Beatles fan. She's an Elvis fan. She's not really a Beatles fan, but she like, she appreciated that I liked them. But every time I ask her, "Do you see A Hard Day's Night?" She goes, "Oh, is that the one when they're on a train all the time?" She says, and I said, "Do you remember Help? Oh, are they in the snow? I remember them being in the snow is crazy, stupid, and all that kind of thing." So yeah. So anyway, that's it. That's the best I could tell you about that. Spring Hill Jim says, "I can never get into How I Won the War. I tried many times, just can't. Just don't like it." That's why I don't own it. That's why I've never watched it. I've seen the sequences, a lot of the sequences with John Lennon in them, but I just don't care about that subject. I don't like the humor in it. I don't like, I swear from what I've seen of it, I've never seen the whole thing, but I really should, and I have to. Danny Ambrosi was 8 when the Beatles came to America in '64. Perfect. I thought we may have had a mom Mayo video for Oklahoma. Well, I did see my mother. I was reunited with my mom. I hadn't seen my mom in a lot of years. She lives in Florida, and I haven't been there in a while. And it was good to see her in Oklahoma. You know, and I'm supposed to see her again because my niece got married in Oklahoma. This past week, and in 4 months, one of my two nephews is going to be married right here. So another chance to see mom, another chance for another wedding. Christian, same age, very good, very good. Help at the drive-in, very nice, very nice. Well, the biggest thing about How I Won the War in Spain is that that's where John Lennon wrote "Strawberry Fields Forever." That's the biggest thing about that movie. I always think of. Do I remember Jack the Giant Killer as a kid? I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard it's a classic thing. I've heard of it. You got to see the mom, Joe. Where's Dad, Joe? What are you talking about? I have a stepfather. My mother and father are divorced, and my father split with my mom uh, when I was 7, I think, and that was just fine by me, to be honest with you. Rest in peace. The guy's dead, but I was fine with that as a child. So here you go. Um, the official history says the Beatles first went to Hamburg in 1960, but I swear I heard someone who was there say it was 59. I think it's 60. I don't remember them in 59 being there. Danny Ambrosi says his wife Robin was born in 69. She missed it all. That's true. Well, a lot of people missed it all, but at least some of the young people today even are getting to enjoy the new Beatles single, last Beatles song. You know. Did you know that the Beatles were supposed to do voices in the Jungle Book, but John protested? No, I didn't know that. Thank you for your comments, Patrick Sweden. I'm reading all your comments. Yes, indeed. Just maybe not responding to all of them or reacting to all of them, but you can see them. Do you think they should have changed the appearance of the Red and the Blue album so you could tell they were the new ones? I'll tell you, Rory. At this point, I'm just so like lost on the whole thing. I don't care anymore. I don't even know. I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, it's a good question for sure. I just don't know. I'm just indifferent to it right now. I'm just like, yeah, I did hear that the Beatles were maybe going to be in a Lord of the Rings movie or something. I did hear about that, but seeing the Beatles live in the early '60s would have been great. The thing is, I did have I should say, my mother had a couple of cousins, two sisters, who were my mom's cousins, and they liked the Beatles. And I know they went to Shea Stadium. And some people have seen a photo of me. It's not up anymore. I used to have a photo with my banner of me holding the Help album when I was like 6 years old or something at their house. I'm in their house by their record player holding the Help album. I used to go to their house. I used to love going to their house because they loved the Beatles. and they had the Remco dolls and everything. And they were, I think they were, they were younger than my mother. My mother's cousins were a little younger than her, and they went to Shea Stadium. Now, looking back on it, I was surprised in a way they didn't bring me with them. I would have been like almost three and a half, a little too young. But I know with my memory, I remember things pretty good. I would have remembered them. So technically, I should have, and could have been at Shea Stadium. Yeah, I could see Mick Jagger and Clockwork Orange as Alex. Yes, I definitely think the early Beatles had a lot of joy to them. Absolutely. Charlton Heston was extremely nice to me, and why wouldn't he be? Charlton Heston was an old school gentleman, and he's one of the nicest celebrities I ever met. I met him three times, and I got his autograph three times, and he just is everything that I would hope. He turned out to be everything that I wanted him to be as a fan. He's my, favorite actor, and an icon, and it was larger than life meeting him, just as I thought it would be. And he say what you will about him. I know you think about Heston. A lot of people didn't like his politics, and we don't want to talk about politics. But the thing is, and at that, and I really, not for nothing, but I really was not a big fan of his politics either at the time. Uh, but having said that, he went both ways. When he was younger, he was very much one side, and then as he got older, he went to another side. But anyway, but he was old school in the sense, so I owe the fans a little thank you and that kind of thing. So yeah. Anyway, what part of the video made me the most emotional? You're going to be surprised here. I only saw the video one time, the new video. It was enough to make me emotional. But I think the thing that got me the most was the first time where you see uh the first time. Yeah, I watched it. The first time you see Paul and Ringo as they look now singing together at the microphone, and then the images from Magical Hello Goodbye in the '67 of John and George appear next to them. I think that was the first thing that really got to me. I think that was the most emotional. Hello, Darren Gamble. Hello, I say hello, Darren Gamble. Yes, there's a book about Mal Evans coming soon. Yes, it's written by Ken Womack, and I'm hoping I'm going to eventually talk to him about that book. I'm looking forward to it. Which celebrities are on the banner of my movie channel? Well, you don't know the celebrities who are on there? I don't even remember them all that I have on there. I have Linda Blair. I have Christopher Lee. I have Roddy McDowell, I think, is on there still, right? Richard Keel, Jaws from James Bond movies. Charlton Heston. Lucky Jackson once hung out with Julian Lennon. Very cool. Wow, that's no. The last thing, if I ever met Julian, the last thing I would talk about is his father. No. Woodland Goblin. I read that "Love Me Do" was written by Paul mostly. Well, probably. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know why can't think about that now, but I could see it being mostly written by Paul. Have I heard "Mr. Jordan" by Julian. Is that the album that has "Now You're in Heaven"? I love that song, by the way. That single, "Now You're in Heaven," where he sounds a little deep voice like David Bowie. I like that. Adam wonders if "Now and Then" will be number one in the U.S. charts. I don't know. People are telling me right now that "Now and Then" doesn't look like it's going to hit number one, but it may be in the top 10. I'd like it to be number one. I'm going out on a limb and I'm saying that I'd be disappointed if Now and Then didn't make number one in the US charts, but as long as it makes number one at all, even in England, in the UK, it still goes down as another Beatles number one. It's not all about the US when it comes to the Beatles number ones. Would I ever like to meet Sean? Yes, I would. Sean, if you're out there, anybody wants to tell him about this, I'd love to meet Sean Lennon. As you know, he contacted me by message. We talked, we typed to each other because he liked the review that I did to Give Me Some Truth, and yeah, it'll be nice. Hey, kiddo two, kid, what's the good word? We did a good show the other night. We did a show on Now and Then. The last time I checked, that had like 2,500 views or something, right? It was doing well, and I want to thank a lot of people out there too, because you know, in addition to us having John Montagna as a guest, and just the subject itself, Now and Then was a big crowd attraction. I thank all of you because I kept telling everybody, make sure you tune in, make sure you tune in. So anybody who tuned in, viewed it, I really thank you to help us get that boosted. Yes, yes. There's a famous Beatles clip from '64. One of the girls is holding up a sign that says "Elvis is dead. Long live the Beatles." They were right. They were right at the time. You know, it was Beatle time in the '60s, just like today is Taylor Swift time. You know, but the Beatles are not dead though. That's the only thing about it, the difference. Um, Beatles, and it's unfair to Elvis. I'm an Elvis fan, and Elvis still had he wasn't making movies then. But anyway, that girl who held that sign up, "Elvis is dead, long live the Beatles." I know she made an appearance. She was at one of the Beatle fests, and she was actually the girl who held that sign was actually there to talk about it. Yeah, a lot of people wish they put that other chorus in there, the verse. But I'm all right. I'm all right that they didn't use it. Who has the more number ones in America, Elvis or the Beatles? I get that mixed up. I forget. I think one of them has more, and one of them has more albums. I don't know what it is. Uh, am I sure I'm not the sixth Beatle? Absolutely, I'm sure. No, who did we say was? I'm losing it. I'm losing who we said was the sixth Beatle, man. Was it Peter Jackson? Who did we say the other day was the sixth Beatle? George Martin is the fifth Beatle, and who was the sixth? Did we say that the other day that it was Peter Jackson? Because whoever we said, I agree. This time it doesn't seem like Peter Jackson fits so well. So over the years, you've met a lot of celebrities. Is that your hobby? I try to meet as many celebrities as I can, but I did that mostly in the 1990s. I don't do it so much anymore. A lot of my favorite celebrities are no longer with us. You know, John Alelo says Taylor Swift has 20 songs on the top 100. That means absolutely nothing as it pertains to the Beatles. Let's put it this way: that mean if the fact that she has 20 songs in the top 100, it means a lot compared to her contemporaries from this era right now. But you can't compare artists from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 70s, for example, to that because they didn't have the same system. Because the Beatles, if they did the thing where you could stream every Beatles song off every Beatles album and it could be top of the charts, the Beatles would have had 200 number ones. You know what I mean? Yes, I said it was certainly was not Brian Epstein. I don't know why people don't have uh understanding of that, or they laugh at that. Um because Brian Epstein was everything, really, everything to getting the Beatles popular. He marketed them. He found them. He discovered them. He believed in them. Brian Epstein deserves every kind of praise you can imagine. He's just not one of the Beatles. That's all. That's how I feel about it. George Martin is more of a Beatle because he produced them and played on the records. Is there a Joe Jet CD box set that exists? I don't think so. Yeah, I think Peter Jackson, kid. I really think he's on his way to being the sixth Beatle. I really do. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that information about Sean Lennon. The animated short war is over. Yes. Yes, I do know that John Lennon went to Disneyland with his son, and there's a really nice picture of him meeting the crew of Happy Days. I'm assuming you've seen that picture. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know. And Billy Preston, I think Billy Preston was a Beatle for just a short period of time. I might, I don't know. It's hard to say. I might actually call Billy Preston the sixth Beatle. I'll call George Martin the fifth Beatle. I'll call Billy Preston the sixth Beatle, and then I'll call maybe Peter Jackson the seventh Beatle. But the thing is though, you also had Nicky Hopkins, playing on Revolution, right? And you had Eric Clapton playing on While My Guitar Gently Weeps. You had Jimmy Nickel. I forgot about Jimmy Nickel. Everybody forgets about Jimmy Nickel. So it's hard to say. Then you got Stuart Sutcliffe, and you got Pete Best and all these guys. So Giles Martin isn't. Don't get me started. I'll let you know more about how I feel about Giles Martin when I play that Red and Blue compilations. I'm hearing a lot of bad stuff about them, a lot of bad stuff. And as people may know, I try. I don't like to crap on anybody. I really don't. But like I've said, every time I've listened to these not compilations, these remixes with Giles Martin, like by Giles Martin, I find things that I like, and I find things I don't like, and I'm torn all the time. And I think, and I find myself they're never my go-to versions. None of these new things are my go-to versions. So we'll see. Giles Martin said his goal was to bring out the instruments you couldn't hear before. Yeah, and in the process, burying instruments and things you always liked hearing before. I mean, that's the problem I have with it. I do not like losing stuff that you've heard before. It's one thing to clean things up to the point where if there's like a tape glitch or something, I don't mind them taking like glitches out or repairing something that was always like a mess. But I don't like it when I'm used to hearing tambourine, it's gone. Or, I'm used to hearing a cymbal crash. like on She Said, and it's gone. Or when I want to hear John playing his like distorted bass, heavy, boom, 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 on Helter Skelter, and it's gone. And then you want to hear Ringo really scream, "I got blisters on my fingers," and it's quiet. "Oh, this is on my fingers." You know, too much stuff on these mixes for me has vanished, and I don't like it. What can I say? That's my thing. What's my favorite Three Stooges short? There are too many of them. I like Shemp the best, so I always name stuff like Goof on the Roof. These are names that aren't going to mean anything to anybody. Goof on the Roof with Shemp. I like one called Loose Loot. Loose Loot is one of my favorites. There are two for you. Yes, Lucille Ball was in a very early one with Curly called Three Little Pigskins, a football one. Uh, do I have any favorite Joe Besser shorts? Yeah, Joe Besser gets a bad rap. I mean, even if I don't love him, I like him better than Curly Joe. Uh, and Joe Besser shorts, A Merry Mix Up is a good one. Quiz Whiz is a good one. I like all the ones when they go to outer space. There you go. Good evening, Kenny from New Jersey. Have I watched the Bowery Boys? I have all their films. They have a DVD, four DVD sets. Yeah, Fifi blows her top is another one. There's a good scene in there. I like when Fifi throws a telephone at her husband, and her husband ducks, and Mo gets hit in the face with the telephone. Those old big phones, rotary phones. And the reason sounds funny, doesn't it? But the reason I like it is because Mo's like in his 60s. Yeah, I like the Stooges better when they're older. I'm sorry. Everybody, it's like everything else. Everybody I'm always different than most people. Like everybody loves Curly when the Three Stooges are in their 30s. I like it better with Joe Besser and Shemp when they're in their 50s and 60s. You know, do I like the Marx Brothers? I like the Marx Brothers now, but it took me many years. As a kid, I never had any use for them, to tell you the truth. Groucho's my favorite Marx brother, followed by Harpo. I don't really think that Chico, and that's how you say it. It's not Chico, it's Chico, believe it or not. I don't think he's funny. Not too much. Um, yeah, you can barely hear the Spanish guitar intro on the 2018 White Album. Chico. And Mo is my favorite Stooge. Yep. Mo, Larry, Shemp. I'm not a big Curly fan. I don't know why. Curly's everybody's favorite. Yes, 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 yes. I'm waiting for comments. Any comments? Why did I decide to unblock Martin? Well, that's the kind of thing we shouldn't really be talking too much about here, but I have my reasons. Let's put it that way. I have my reasons I'm not going to divulge, but also the fact that I've been torn because sometimes I sometimes he comes up with good discussion. He does come up with good discussion. That's the main thing. And I have nothing. He thinks I don't like people saying negative things about the Beatles. Sometimes he has a negative opinion. Not true. I say negative things about the Beatles. I say negative things. So the new Bob Dylan biopic sounds good. The good news is if you don't like some of the remixes, you could always go back to the original. Yeah, but as long as they stay in print, I mean, luckily for me, I have physical copies to last me the rest of my life, but some people may not. Hello, Noah. Do I think Sean will do as good a job looking after John's estate as Yoko has? I'd like to think so. I have trust in Sean. Two things I'm concerned about with. The first one is that so when I talked to him and he texted me and we had a couple of texts back and forth about give me some truth. I told him what I liked and what I didn't like. Mostly I like what he did with that, what he helped out with that, but a couple of things I didn't like. Um, the other thing is I don't know. I don't know if it was. I don't like that he didn't push somehow to get sometime in New York City out the deluxe set. If I'm to be honest, I thought that he would have made sure somehow that comes out. But maybe it's not all on him. I'm sure it's the record company. But let's see. Jeff Allen is talking about that. I know that one. I'm Holiday. I'm Terror Day. I'm Christmas Day. Yeah, that's not another one. That's. I forget what the name of that one is when they're doing the Dragnet thing with Champ. Did I enjoy most of the Elvis movies? Yes, I do. Elvis movies get a bad rap, and what you're talking about is when you're watching an Elvis movie, you shouldn't expect to see Citizen Kane or The Godfather. Yeah, Blunder Boys. That's the name of that. You should expect beach blanket bingo type things. Well, they're not all about the beach or racing cars or whatever, or just lightweight fun stuff. Watching Elvis sing. That's what it's supposed to be. And hmm, did I hear the new Paul Rogers? No. Beetle Eddie says most people say Curly's the best third stooge. They say he's the best stooge of all. I know that. That's why I'm saying I don't agree. That's why I went out of my way to say that I'm one of the people who don't think that. I mean, the only thing I can say about Curly is he offered something very different as a contrast to Mo and Larry. His bald shaved head and his voice and his mannerisms made it very different. But he's not my favorite at all. What are my feelings about Priscilla's new money? I have no idea what that is about. Bad Company, I probably like some songs if I heard them. Yeah, nobody knows exactly why sometime in New York City is not being released at this time. Everybody pretty much believes that that's the reason why it's not out, and it's a shame. But hopefully they'll be able to work that out somehow and explain that it's why it's not what people think it is. It doesn't mean what people think it means, and so forth. Yeah, I've seen all the Elvis movies, including Charo. Although these days, with the song, "Woman is the bleep of the world," w- I wonder if they don't object to two words in that song these days, not instead of one word, two words. Okay, Kenny, thank you for stopping by. Every time I see your name, I'm so pissed that I didn't have my camera on when I thought I was recording you in the parking lot at the Paul show. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. Charlie Hodge, Elvis's right-hand man, is my stepfather. Not pulling your leg one bit. I've heard of Charlie Hodge. Yeah. What does it mean? I should really say this. I will, though. I won't say it. I won't. I was going to ask a question about health, but I was going. Oh no, no. All right. How do I word it? What does it mean when even talking? Like I've had this problem the last several days. Just talking, you feel a strain. Just talking. Never mind like jumping around or running around or anything like that. What does that mean? Do I dare I ask? And I tell you, it's been worse since I've been drinking this green tea. Sometimes I think this green tea is not all it's cracked up to be. It's supposed to be very healthy. But I wonder. Diaphragm? Hmm. But talking like, why do I say like I'll be at the record store and I'll be like, hey guys, I say, wait, hold on a minute, guys. Like I'm a little too excited, you know what I mean? Yeah, slow. I'm finding as I'm doing this that I have to just now I got it again. I gotta be slow and I can't be too. Can I inhale completely? If anything, I could inhale completely, just can't exhale completely. If anything, I could inhale completely, but not so much exhaling. It's like, yeah. Anyway, where are we at? Green tea is healthy. Tea in general is. Okay, that's what I always heard. This has been pretty good. This is like I'm on here. What, 98 minutes? Oh, it's weird because the second clock isn't moving on here. That's weird. Well, anyway, I've been on here a while. No, I have not seen that. I heard about that Elvis movie, I think. Amazon CD and vinyl chart. Number one, the Beatles. Number two, the Beatles on the vinyl and CD chart. Yeah, green tea has caffeine, but the one that I'm drinking is supposed to be decaffeinated. And when I say that, people say, "Well, decaffeinated tea has other stuff in it to make it decaffeinated." So Well, the James Bond series has been coming to an end for the last couple of installments. Yeah, when they say that the slave of the slaves, it's even less. I can't. I can't explain what I want to say as I'm reading questions at the same time. Is this my first chat on YouTube? Ha 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 ha. I've been doing this for what, 6 years. No, I've done hundreds of chats. It seems like, but thank you. Liam, I have no idea how Andrew got his, unless he said how he got his. I don't know if they sent them to him. Did they send them to him, or did he just get it at a store? Um, I expect to get mine. I'm hoping to get my copies tomorrow morning early, like 10 o'clock in the morning. Then I'm gonna listen to them, and then hopefully I can make a video later. I hope. The only thing I know that I want to get on Record Store Day, the only thing that I'd want to get on Record Store Day, is the Joan Jett album, Mindsets. Okay, there's a lot of stuff there. Well, you got to remember too, when it comes to the Beatles, I don't, I, I'm not afraid to say, like, if I'm saying here that I don't always like Giles Martin's work, so why are they going to send me a Red and Blue album? You see what I mean? But people, there are people who think that I'm only going to shill. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the guy we talked about before, who's now unblocked again, Martin. He often accused me of only saying things to make it look good for the companies, and anybody who has any ounce of brains and has watched me for any length of time, as he has, would know that I don't do that. Even in this chat here, that I've been on here 100 minutes, I've said there's some things I like about Giles Martin's work and some I don't, and I've said that plainly simple. I said he ruined some of the songs. Yeah. So do I expect the people at Apple to send me something? Complimentary? No, not at all. Uh, and then Blister Blood Vessel says that's how you got those Lennon albums. No, yes and no. But again, I'm tired of people thinking that I'm shilling. I really am tired of that. And you too, Mr. Blood Vessel. Okay, because as I got done saying, and anybody that was here heard me say it, I've said this many times. Sean Lennon liked the fact that I wasn't afraid to criticize. Okay, I criticized some things and I said what I like. He said he has a great set of ears, and Mr. Mayo doesn't miss a thing. And he liked the fact that we talked about things like the horns. I talked about the horns not being there, the brass parts not being in the song. Steel and Glass on Give Me Some Truth, and he appreciated that. So don't give me this stuff that I just kissed a lot of tush. So that's how I got to think. 'Cause it's the opposite. If anything, I got on the list because I wasn't afraid to be honest. Okay. And supposedly, from what I understand, the Lennon estate even told Andrew Dixon, he even said to him, and I know Andrew said this in his videos, that he sent him a thing saying, "Don't be afraid to tell it like it is, give it straight." So they appreciate that. Maybe people like the Beatles just want to hear everything but praise and nothing else. I don't know. Yeah, I heard Julian's album called Jude. I liked it, and I did a video on it. If you want to check it out, I have not seen any of the Hairspray movies. And there's Blister Blood Vessel. I'm yanking your chain. I'm yanking your chain. Yeah, well, that's the reason why Martin got exited for a while. So I mean, it's one thing to be sincere. If you're just looking to yank, come on, man. So Oh, I know Richard James. I am not Doc Dacus. Joe is fair and balanced when it comes to John and Paul. Well, thank you. Yep. Speaking of Shemp with the Three Stooges, you see I got Shemp up here? That's Shemp. This guy here at the edge, that's Shemp, bobblehead. I don't know if the Red Target vinyl is rare. People are saying they can't get a copy. So I don't know. If it's rare, I hope it is. Ha ha ha. That makes me more excited that I went in Oklahoma. I went all the way to when I was in Oklahoma in Tulsa. I went all the way to a Target store there just to get it. Makes it worthwhile. Liam's girlfriend is a big fan of my channel. I like to hear that. I like the ladies. I need more ladies on here watching me. I don't know. I don't know how many people. I don't know how many people out here are ladies. Any ladies out here? How many ladies are in the audience? Make yourselves known. Watch, I shouldn't have said that because now I'm not going to hear anything. This is I had not seen 3 Days of the Condor either. The I Want to Hold Your Hand film is a lot of fun. You know, yeah, yeah. So, what movie am I going to watch tonight? I haven't been watching movies. You know, just haven't been. You know, I got lots of movies and I haven't watched them lately. I've been too Beatled out. I've been doing everything with the Beatles and now and then. Gary, Sun Dodger One. Should I say it again? Gary, he is here. Sun Dodger One was one of the video guys who made videos when I first started watching videos in 2011 and 2012. And he was one of the guys that made me say, hey, maybe I could do this. Maybe I should start a channel. So, hello, Sun Dodger. I didn't hear Danny Harrison's CD. So far, I haven't been too enamored with what I've heard. Yeah. Was there any hassle or concern with flying with the new vinyl in your suitcase? I would be afraid of damages. I was a little afraid of it too, especially because we had a large suitcase, and the record fit in there pretty well. And we had clothes around it. We kind of like made sure it was protected in clothing and everything that it really didn't get bent or anything. And luckily, there it is up there. It made the trip fine. Here it is. So I'm glad it was okay. Um, Liam says he's heard that the new 2023 version mix of "If I Needed Someone" is the quintessential version. Okay. Hello to Vivian Lund. Thank you for listening. You got to listen to my disgusting voice while you were. I hate my voice. Oh, I hate it. I figure at least if you watch me visually, you take your mind off my voice a little bit. But then I don't know what the lesser of the two evils is: watching my face or hearing my voice. I don't know which. But all kidding aside, thank you for listening. Um, I think Tom Hunyadi has finished his moving process. I think. All right, I understand that you recommend hairspray. Thank you for telling me a few times. Yeah, Secret of the Incas, the movie Secret of the Incas. I have it here somewhere. I gotta get to that too. I got tons of things to get to if I stay alive long enough. Have I seen Airplane? Yes, I saw Airplane. Funny stuff. Did I get the 7-inch marble? Yeah, I ordered the 7-inch marble. It's at the Beatles damn store. When the hell they're ever gonna ship that thing? Well, I think it's shipped. I don't know when it's gonna arrive. Disgusting. Yeah, I ordered this the marble. But as I say, I know 2 stores here within driving distance that both 2 stores that stock the marble vinyl. Okay, I could have went right in there and bought it like that. But no, I ordered it from the stupid Beatles store. So, is Raging Bull overrated? Yes. Does Tom Magnani? Yeah, it's his favorite movie. It doesn't mean it's bad. Overrated doesn't immediately mean bad. It just means I think it was good. It just wasn't. I didn't think it was great, but you know. So there you go. No, Rocky is much better than Raging Bull in my opinion. Yeah, I love the new Rolling Stones album. You know that. Yep. Yes, I saw the movie yesterday. I think you might have to watch my videos. I did a movie review of it. I liked it. Did I think it was a great film? No, but I liked it. Will we get Back to the Egg? Nobody knows what's happening with Back to the Egg. I really want that. I want that box set. You know, you said it sucks that De Niro has a lawsuit against him, basically because he's famous and rich. Is that what you mean? If that's the case, I could say there's a lot of frivolous stuff going on right now that shouldn't be happening. But it is what it is, right? That's the times we're living in. The way the wind's blowing right now. Um, yes, I saw the Monkeys movie Head. It's a crazy movie and it was fun, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Yes, I've seen Airport. Well, Airplane is more of a spoof of Airport 75. I mean, they had airport movies out at the time, but I think Airport 75 is the one that was parodying the most. Um, Rumor has it that Lawrence Juber is causing the delay of it coming out. Why would Lawrence Juber not want it out? That's interesting. The John Lennon scene at the end of yesterday was very emotional and the highlight of the whole movie to me. Favorite Beatle themed movie? Well, I guess it would have to be I Want to Hold Your Hand. I mean, Beatle theme, if that's what you mean. Yeah, Lawrence Juber, very nice guy. Yes, I met him a few times. First time I met him was way back in 1982. Yeah. Uh, I haven't seen the whole movie, That Thing You Do, but I don't agree that the song That Thing You Do sounds like the Beatles. I'm not saying you're saying this, but people have said like, "Oh, such and such song sounds a lot like the Beatles." And then I listen to it and I'm like, "Well, I don't like the song and I like the Beatles. So if I don't like this song, how could it sound like the Beatles, you know?" Ah, it sucks at the Rolling Stone. I'm sorry, folks. I know a lot of people aren't gonna like me saying that, but the Hackney Diamonds was such a great album. It should have been their final album. I really think the fact that the Stones working on their album concerns me. I hate wrestling. I have no interest in wrestling at all, WWE or otherwise. But what if it's another good album? I have a hard time believing they can top this. I really do. And maybe it will. But how about they just make this their last album and go out on top? And then they just take the remaining tracks and they put them out some other way. Like they call it like odds and ends or forgotten tracks or leftover tracks, but don't make an official statement that this is our album. I've heard this. You asked me this question before because people keep asking me this. Do you think Paul will perform now and then live? I don't think he would, but knowing Paul, anything's possible. Because I think I don't know. John's voice kind of makes that. I saw Phantom of the Paradise. It should have been a movie that I liked a lot better. I was disappointed with Phantom of the Paradise. Now, Liam says the 2023 mix of "She Loves You" is incredible. I'm glad to hear you say that because supposedly I heard that it was just a big mess. Not very good. So I really don't know. How's Bazooka Joe doing? He's doing well. I've seen him and he looks well and he seems well. Favorite Disney movie? Oh, I don't know. Pinocchio. When I was a kid, I always liked Pinocchio. Maybe Dumbo was very sad, emotional. Hello, Mr. Broadstreet. How are you? Check out Mr. Broadstreet. The new Stones album. I agree. I did an album raving about it in a positive way. Yeah, it's hard for me to tell what my favorite. It's really hard to tell what my favorite track is of them all because I really love all of them. Thank you so much, Layla. I hear it, Lila or Layla. Thank you so much. I appreciate that uh, helping me out there a little bit. Anybody want to help? That's how you do it. Thanks for keeping us up to date with the Beatles. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your thoughtfulness. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, the horror movie Thanksgiving is coming out soon. Yes, indeed. Yeah, the people might be saying something sounds like the Beatles, just to mean that it sounds like the bubblegum style. Yeah, I've never seen Swamp Thing. Isn't this great? All the movies tonight, a lot of them I haven't seen. Um, I think that's fantastic if that's true. Ringo's drums are turned up considerably. The new "She Loves You" mix. The first thing I'm going to do is play that when I get it tomorrow. Mr. Broadstreet, thank you so much. Ed, I really appreciate that. Watch Ed's channel. Go over there and subscribe to Mr. Call me Mr. Broadstreet. I thank you so much. It means a lot to me, folks. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, and I still appreciate that burger that you bought that time. Okay, Disney fan, 1955. Hope to chat again. Thank you. Jessica Harper. Yes, yes. Jessica Harper's nice. Uh, how are Don and Betty? I haven't seen Betty in ages. Betty's never doing well. Betty's in bad shape all the time. And Don's getting older, but he's always hanging in there. Last time I saw him, he was taking some kind of medication, antibiotics or something. Although I will tell you, Mr. Broadstreet, I did get COVID that weekend. I don't know how I got it or from who or what. Personally, I think I got it from Rogue Best, but I don't know for sure. And I heard that Pete Best got COVID from there too. So I don't know what happened. Peter Jackson said there's 14 hours of film of the Beatles recording Freezerbird, Real Love, etc. Would you watch a 3-hour documentary? Of course I would. Of course I would. I'd like it to happen. Did you see Fab Four Free for All interview with Giles Martin? Pretty good, bro. Actually, I did not. I still may watch it. I know it's. I know it was done. I just haven't watched it. Where can you get the Now and Then CD single? You tell me. I want one too. Tell me where to get one, Robert. Yes, I saw Backbeat of Nowhere Boy. Backbeat I like a bit. What I like about Backbeat is I really like. I forget his name now. The actor who played Stu Sutcliffe. I like the actress who plays Astrid Kircher, and I actually like Ian Hart who plays John Lennon. Out of all the depictions I've ever seen of John Lennon, I think that movie by him with him in it is the closest thing to John. Like I really believe I'm watching a young, rebellious kind of John Lennon in that movie. Having said that, I don't like the movie Nowhere Boy. I didn't like that movie much at all. I didn't like the actor who played John. I never believed for a second that he was John. I would have thought he'd be better at Elvis Presley. He wasn't John Lennon to me, that actor. And the only thing I liked about Nowhere Boy was they gave some time talking about John's mother, Julia. Other than that, I didn't really care for it. Would I be interested in hearing a Jeff Lynne mix of Now and Then? Well, first of all, everybody is against Jeff Lynne. I don't know what that is. I like ELO. I like Jeff Lynne's style. I like his production. I think Jeff Lynne saved George Harrison's career with the Cloud Nine album. I like Jeff Lynne. I had no problem with him working on Anthology. But would I want him to remix Now and Then, or why? Or reproduce? Excuse me, reproduce Now and Then. Why? A good job was done by Paul McCartney and company already. Giles Martin. Everything was fine. Thank you, Joe Guerrieri. Can't say your name. Guerrieri. Did I like Birth of the Beatles? Yeah, I saw it when it first came on TV back in '79 or whatnot, and it's okay. Birth of the Beatles is okay, but there were a lot of mistakes there too. And the actor who played John Lennon, he was not bad, either. You know, Wes Beck says, "What happened to the video I put up about Taylor Swift, the Beatles?" He says, "When I went back to watch it, I couldn't find it." Well, it was a reaction video to somebody who had made a video first. And when this person informed me that they took their video down, then I took my response video down. That's really what it was. It was fair, fairness and respect back and forth. That's what that was. Yes, indeed. Okay. 4 targets, nowhere to be found. People can't find all these vinyl releases. It's a shame. No thanks. No thanks. No way. Mr. Beatles Pro says the CD single is on the Beatles website as a pre-order. That ain't happening. I got screwed. He's laughing. Yeah, I got screwed already. Forget that. He's joking. Forget it. Ain't happening. No more. Well, in all fairness, Liam says if you don't like Jeff Lynne, then you don't like Cloud Nine, the Traveling Wilburys. People complain about anything, Liam says. Well, the thing is, sometimes they'll complain about anything, but I don't think there's anything wrong with complaining in general. I mean, if it's legitimate and it's not all the time about everything. There's certain people out there who they're not sincere. There are people out there who make their reputation about doing nothing but trashing anything. Every Beatles project, every Beatles convention, every show, anything because that's their shtick. You know what I mean? Um, but in general, I don't think there's anything wrong with sometimes a little negativity. Sometimes, if you feel like you don't like something, as long as you balance it, I do this a lot. As long as you balance it, and sometimes you like stuff, and sometimes you don't like stuff, and you don't love everything, and you don't hate everything. To me, it seems to me like a normal, sincere, well-adjusted, fair human being. Sometimes likes things and sometimes doesn't like things. Um, do I think the new single would have been better placed on a re-release of Anthology 3? No, no, I don't. Um, it would have been nice to have it on Anthology 3 somehow, but you can't go back in time because back in 1995 or 6 or 1996, they couldn't get a good version of it. I wouldn't want them to re-release it now with just because of that. I think I don't mind. I like the idea of now and then being on the Blue album. Uh, and of course, I know a lot of people don't agree with that, you know, but that's okay. Yeah, that's the best I could say about it. But I like having a single, I like having an individual single. And Mr. Broadstreet says constructive criticism is the best. Yes, I'll agree with that. What's your favorite of the Ringo EPs? My favorite is What's My Name. Well, What's My Name is not an EP. It's the last full album that he did. If you're going to include What's My Name in there, then What's My Name is my favorite by far. But if you want to talk about just the four EPs that came out, the first one is my favorite, Zoom In. And it's followed by this one, I think. I think Zoom In is my favorite. And I think this new one, Rewind Forward, is my second favorite. And I think the third one would be EP3. And I think the least would be Change the World. So there you go. Okay, reading some interesting comments here. Okay. Oh, what's going on, folks? What's the good word, everybody? Hmm. So Joe F says I went to Amazon and the CD format of Now and Then has April the 5th as a delivery date. Wow, that's insane. Have I listened to the bonus disc from the Old Things Must Pass set much? I have to say no, Wes. Gotta be honest. Just tried to send you a fiver, but the card number has rubbed off my card, so I can't. Ha ha ha. Anybody else want to take his place? Be my guest. And if you want to hit that like button up there, I don't love doing that, but I'm gonna do it. Smash that like button, smash, 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 pound that like button. Let's go, get those likes up. Let's go. I've seen people all the time when they do this, they say that over and over again. But the funny thing is, it works. Is anything planned for December the 8th? Oh, Danny, oh, they bring me down with that. Um, No, not that I know of. Tim Allen. Tim Allen is now in there. Yeah. All right. Well, that didn't work. That time I said hit the like button. Nobody liked. Okay. Surprised I didn't lose some by doing that. 60. Thank you. I love good people out there. I love how there's people out there and they're like, yeah, I'll help out. What would you have preferred for the now and then B side? Let me put it this way. At first, I didn't like the idea that "Love Me Do" was on the B side. I knew what they were doing. They were trying to put the first song bookended by the Beatles' last song that they recorded. I get it. But then when I realized it was the Ringo version with Ringo on drums and that it was going to be a 2023 remix, I was perfectly okay with the idea of having the first "Love Me Do" version on there. So I like it. However, now it's another side to this. That would have been if even better if the new Red album had the Andy White version on it. Now, from what I'm told, it's pretty common knowledge by now that also on the Red album, the one they use is the same as the B side of Now and Then, the single with Ringo on it on drums. Um, so I mean, it would have been a special thing to have the 2023 remix only available as the B side of the single. That would have been that of the Ringo drumming version. That would have been good. Thank you, everybody, for giving thumbs ups. I see they've risen up. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, folks. I give you two thumbs up. I only have two thumbs. Can't give you more. Um, so now and then is sold out everywhere. I don't know. I'm hearing I'm hearing it is a lot of places. You ever read the book "Let Me Take You Down"? I noticed you had it in your collection. It's quite interesting. Yes, Wes, I fully admit I read that book. I have the book, and it's an interesting book. Now, look, it's about the jackass who killed John Lennon, and like what the events leading up, and what a lot of people say. Why would you buy that? Well, the first thing is I want to be clear. It was said that that idiot who killed John is not getting any profit from it, so he doesn't get any profit. That's one thing. A second thing is, as a John Lennon lover, a big fan, I've always had a curiosity. Maybe I'm trying to look for closure or a way to try to understand something that's impossible to understand. It makes no sense. Nothing makes any sense with that. It's totally senseless. But I have an interest, I guess, in what makes people tick, like that crazy lunatic Jeffrey Dahmer. You know, and being that this has to do with John, especially, I was more interested to hear what he had. Was there any remorse? And yeah, well, we'll talk about there's a little bit of that remorse in a dream sequence that he has frequently. That idiot killed him, but you got to read the book for that. He has a recurring dream that uh, is kind of very remorseful. That is discussed at the end of the book. But stuff like that. Anyway, it's a morbid topic. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm being honest. Um, how are they going to release mixes of "Free as a Bird" and "Real Love" without it being a singular album? I don't know. I like to think they're gonna remix those with the new Mal technology again. I hope that they're gonna try to fix it better, make John's voice even more upfront and more discernible and clear. I really hope they're gonna do that. I don't know how they release it. I don't know. Uh, Now and Then has become one of your favorite Beatles songs for sure. I keep saying, I don't think Now and Then, even this finished version, is a great song, but it is a great swan song. It is a great ending. It is a great celebratory, emotional, uh, heart tugging tribute, is why I like it so much. Does that make sense? It's mostly because the emotions it conveys. Not that it's a great song structured in and of itself, but so that's why I like it. Now I notice uh let's see. St. Martin said he just heard that Saturday Night Live is trying to get McCartney and Ringo to the Christmas episode with guest musicians helping. Now that would be nice. Could you imagine if they could get Paul and Ringo and maybe they were going to try to do a version of Singing Now and Then together? That would be nice. I wonder if they're going to make that happen. Could you see Paul McCartney showing up at a Rolling Stones concert performing "Bite My Head Off"? Absolutely. I didn't think of it before, but now that you say it, that would be amazing. And yeah, I could see that happening. That would be great to have Paul show up at a Stones concert. Okay, Robbie, Detroit's Vinyl. See you later. Yes, I have the Free as a Bird CD with extra tracks on it. Yeah, I don't have the excuse me, Henry. I don't have the ability here on this. I'm doing this by regular YouTube. I can only bring guests up with me when I'm doing StreamYard, and I'm not doing StreamYard. So I'm gonna have to go pretty soon. I said this before, but we'll go a little longer because so many people are watching, and that's cool. I appreciate everybody watching. Um, Hello, Lynette. What's going on? I wonder why Now and Then hasn't had any acknowledgement from Julian. I don't know. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, Julian was left out of it," and that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know. Favorite holiday? I don't really. It's funny. I don't have a favorite holiday. People ask me that. Here's the thing. Um, Geez, uh, my favorite time of year is summer, and the only holiday that comes in the summer is the 4th of July. So I'll say the 4th of July, not because I like fireworks and because I like all that stuff, but because I like the summertime, and I like sometimes, somebody has a barbecue, you hang out, nice weather, the sun is out, have a beer. So I like that. Now, I always, when I was a kid, I loved Christmas. I loved Christmas as a child. Who doesn't? When you're a child, you got Santa Claus is coming down the chimney. He's coming. You're going to get presents and gifts. It's great, you know. Um, but when I got older, it becomes a headache because now you got to buy gifts for everybody and all this. And not just that, but when I was working at the post office, you can imagine working at the post office. Um, all the parcels and the crazy hours and working and trying to deliver parcels in the dark when you can't see because the sun's gone. It's a nightmare. But now that I don't work for the post office, I don't know. I mean, I like Christmas to a point. Obviously, I'm not a Scrooge. I kid around. I say bah humbug a lot, but there's a lot of stress involved with Christmas. But it's less stress now than it was when I was working. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Still 110 people, best stream time ever. And well, I've had more than no offense to anybody here. I see 113 people right now, and as soon as I say that, some of them are going to disappear. Haha. There's probably some trolls watching. But the thing is, um, I've gotten more. So, but I'm very happy. Thank you all for watching. Anyway, let's see. Jeff Jefferson says 3 months and 1 day until the fest. Yeah, the fest for Beatles fan is coming up in New York, and yeah. It'd be a February 9th. Went fast. Uh, Sorry, folks. Just looking. Uh, yeah. Okay. I gotta press this button. I need to see more comments. Uh, Sorry, folks. Give me a chance to read. Okay. Okay. Patman 1966 says regarding Julian. If your dad was a Beatle, you might be sick to death of hearing about the Beatles. I guess you would. I could understand that. But you know what? I'm sorry. My heart doesn't bleed for poor Julian. Poor Julian, sweet little Julian. I'm sorry. Julian, I've said this a million times. Julian seems like a great human being. Julian, someday let's have a beer together. Let's do or talk, okay? You seem like a great guy. But just let it go, man. And the thing that gets me is there's a lot worse things to have your life. You could have you could have like a father who maybe really like beat you up and stuff like that, or or worse. I'm not gonna, what? Use your imaginations. Or you can be somebody who has to work your whole life. Your father, like, didn't leave you anything. Now people are gonna say John didn't leave Julian money. Yoko wouldn't give him the money. Look, it doesn't. Does anybody know if Julian ever had to really work a 9 to 5 job a day in his life? I don't think Julian had to like work at the post office or had to like shovel coal or had to like, work 2 jobs. I don't think so. So all I mean by this is that there's worse things than having a Beatle as your dad. I imagine. You know that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's like Fred Gwynn, who played Herman Munster. Oh, Herman Munster ruined my life. I could never get another job. Fred Gwynn. Yeah, yeah, the Herman Munster. Oh, he ruined my life. You know, Let me have a part where people remember me forever, and it's passed down to their children, and an icon on TV. It's a nice thing. Ah, all I'm trying to say is some people are never satisfied. Um, Did I read both volumes of McCartney's lyrics book? I skimmed them. I skimmed the songs I wanted to read about. Yeah. Here we go again. Danny's bringing up Hackney Diamonds versus Walls and Bridges. Well, the thing you got to understand, like I said like last night, I took a long drive and I played Walls and Bridges by John, an album that I like. And then after that, I played Hackney Diamonds. Hackney Diamonds I said it was a better album. But what I mean is, Hackney Diamonds is more of a fun album. It's better to drive. It's a better driving album. John Lennon's Walls and Bridges is a little more somber, a little more serious, a little more depressing in spots. You know, s- so that's what I meant by that. Hackney Diamonds is a better driving album. So Lynette says Julian is grounded. I think he's over the stuff with John. I hope so. He's 60 years old now. You got to get over that. Look, I was a child of divorce. You know what I mean? My father wasn't the greatest guy in the world. But I was happy to see mine go, but that's another story. Nothing horrendous happened. Believe me, nothing horrendous. My dad liked to drink, and I don't have a lot of bad memories or anything like that. But he wasn't around that much, and that's okay. I grew up. I loved my life. I grew up. We moved in after my mother and father split when I was 7. My mother went to work, but we moved in with my grandma and grandpa. So I had a house where I lived with my mom, my grandma, and my grandpa, who were, believe me when I tell you, I don't. You know how grandparents can be. No two finer people ever walked the earth. I feel than my grandmother and grandfather on my mother's side, and I have nothing but great childhood memories. So, but anyway, you gotta like move on. Is the point, you know? Okay. Jeff Jefferson, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think they call it. What do they call it when you leave something? A super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. A lot of people have been very nice, helping out here. Today's tough times. Everybody knows that. You all have, we all have our problems. You have your own problems with that. So, and Bubba says, I did not have a grandfather and a grandmother, so you are a lucky guy. I do feel very lucky. My grandmother lived to be 92, and my grandfather lived to be 88. Now, but that was my mother's side. Now, my father's side is another story. My grandfather on my father's side died before I was born. I never knew my grandfather on my father's side. And my grandmother on my father's side, I hear she lived a long life, but once it's funny with the way it was. Once we split, I didn't see my father's side. You know, it's strange. Where's the fest going to be now? It's going to be at the TWA Hotel in Queens, New York. Is it Queens? Queens, right? Where the Beatles landed in 1964. So it's very good to go there. And I don't agree with that either. Bubba says we don't live in the Brady Bunch, and I'm like, well, some people do. I believe some people. I think my life was kind of nice. Like my childhood was kind of like that. Was it the exact Brady Bunch exactly? No, but it was happy. People say, "Oh, Leave It to Beaver's not real. The Brady Bunch isn't real." For some people, it is. Was. You know. What did my nephew think of Now and Then? I have no idea. I haven't heard a thing from him about it. Um, do you ever take your viewing public for granted, or is it something you think you have to work at all the time? You always have to work at it because you can't just get complacent and just think, oh, I got a lot of people that like to watch my channel, so I don't have to do anything. But my basic rule of thumb is I like to try to have a video, at least one video up every 24 hours. It's not always easy. Sometimes 2 days go by, 3 days go by. But I think it's important to keep content up. But I don't take them for granted. That's a good question. I never take things for granted like this. You do have to work at it. But it's a wonderful thing. So many people over the past 11 and a half years have told, or it was 12 years. I keep forgetting, man. I can't yet. 11 and a half years have told me how they've made a difference, how they were depressed or something, or they were getting through COVID and they watched a video and it made them happy. And, maybe they didn't like a certain album or they didn't even hate it. There's certain things they never even knew existed. And then I helped them find out about it. And I appreciate that. By the way, I have a movie channel. The movie channel, though, is another story. The movie channel, I come and go with that. I don't make as many videos there as I do here, but I have a movie channel. It's called Mayo's Offbeat Movies. It's mostly horror and science fiction films and weird cult movies and oddball things like fun things like that. But check it out, Mayo's Offbeat Movies. Please subscribe there too if you like the movies. You know. What do I think of some Beatle fans bashing the new song? Well, hey, look, as I said earlier here, I said that I sometimes don't like certain things. I don't automatically, uh, despite what some people imagine, immediately praise anything because it's the Beatles. I've criticized John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr. I criticize Beatles stuff, etc., etc. So it's okay not to like something. And I can't you can't question other people's opinions too much. It's like sometimes I'm baffled. Like I don't know how you could be a Beatles fan. I mean this not as an insult. People are going to say that I'm insulting people or bashing people here, you know? And I'm not, but I just don't I genuinely from the heart don't understand how you could be a Beatles fan and not be moved by this video, for example, the new video. That kind of thing. The song, I still say the song itself, I can understand Beatle fans hearing the new song and saying, it's not so great song, you know. It's okay. Well, it's not, but it's nothing great. I don't think it's not really a great song, but the video is not everybody's going to break down and cry. I believe a lot of people when they say it didn't affect me that much. I don't see what it's about. But if you're a real diehard Beatle fan, you gotta get a moment or two where you're kind of touched, you know. Lila says I was moved by it, but just a bit jarred by the visual composition of the old and the new. The only thing that jarred me with that a little bit, I haven't really said anything about that till now, is some scenes where you have old Paul and young Paul together. I didn't mind them having old Ringo and old Paul with the young John and George. Um, but if you're going to show young Ringo and you're going to show young Paul as well, don't have the old ones, old Paul and old Ringo too. I don't know. That's the only thing, but that's a quibble. That's a minor quibble, you know. Thank you very much, Patrick Sweden, for writing down Mayo's offbeat movies. Do I have the Doug Sulpy book? I don't know at this point. Wow. When it gets to the point where you got so much stuff you don't know what you have, that's something. What do I think about the middle bridge of the song taken out? As far as the words go, I'm glad that I understand. I think one of the reasons why the bridge was taken out, there were lines in there. I don't want to lose you. Don't want to abuse you. Don't want to confuse you. I think were the words. I just don't think that those words fit the sentiment of the song they're presenting. This is just basically, there's no room for those words in the song, the video, the way they have it, the song they have it. The message they were trying to celebrate, it doesn't seem to fit. So I don't mind it being out there, out of the whole thing. But there are other people who felt that actually that helps. Putting that in there helps to keep the flow going of the song. So I don't know. I never saw Sex Kittens Go to College. That one I didn't see. Oh, okay. The Lilac cried during the 12-minute documentary. Yeah. What are my thoughts about putting the news at the end of Talk More Talk rather than the start? Well, for one thing, I would suggest, honestly, Rory, seriously, if you or anybody watching this has any opinions or thoughts about things like that, please make sure to comment on the video, one of the latest videos that we do, and say that. Sometimes I don't mind the news at the beginning as long as it doesn't go too long. For me, I'm a stickler for things with time. I think the news shouldn't go more than 20 minutes. If we start the show at 9 o'clock, it shouldn't go longer than 20 minutes. And sometimes, depending on what the news is, it's interesting to talk about. Like if they say here in the news, I don't know, Paul McCartney, uh, did a commercial or something. He did a commercial for something, or Ringo did a commercial. That's news. Then we stop and say, "What did you think of the commercial?" I like when we share it. Well, this is what I thought. The news gives you a chance to discuss it. Sometimes, in my opinion, and I think I've kind of said this to my co-hosts. I personally feel that sometimes it's stretched as to what's in the news. Like every little person associated with the Beatles in some minute way doesn't have to be mentioned. That's just me. Um, but I just feel like it could be a tighter show that way. Um, is the Target issue, the red vinyl, my favorite now and then so far? Well, it's my favorite, like you said, in the sense that I had to go when I was in Oklahoma. It's my favorite because of the memory associated with it. That I was in Oklahoma and I actually went to not a lot of trouble. I mean, but look at the right words. I had to go out of my way to find a copy in Oklahoma. But as far as physically, so far my favorite physical copy is not the red, it's the clear 7-inch. We're gonna have to go very soon, guys. So I have to get winding this up. Let's see. So is it fair to say that it is more of a video song rather than the song? What makes it the song after the video is released with the song? I'm not. That's confusing. But I do think this is mostly about the video. I do. But Christian says, I like the news on Talk More Talk. It should be in the beginning, but could be shaved down a little. Please, please, anybody give your honest feelings. Write them in the comments. So, Danny Ambrosi says Ken Michaels does a great job with the news, and I agree. He's very good at what I told him the other night. He's got a voice. I like his voice too, smooth as silk. I wish I could have the voice Ken Michaels has. Does a great job with the news. Sometimes I just think there's too much of it as well. And I personally think there's too much plugging at the end. I'm sorry, folks. My co-hosts are going to kill me, but I've told them this. There's like, it could take sometimes 20 minutes, 25 minutes at the end to just say what we're going to, what we're, plans. But yeah, but it's okay because that's at the end of the show, so it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna have to get going now, folks. I'm sorry. This is a lot of fun. I've been here 2.5 hours, and this is a lot of fun. This is great. Thank you all for being here. Okay. Tomorrow, just to tell you again, I plan. Hopefully, I think I'm going to be able to get the red and the blue CDs tomorrow, early in the morning, like 10 o'clock. And then I'm hoping I'm going to be able to play them both or most of them and really just get a feeling, take some notes and do a video. And hopefully I'll have a video up tomorrow. I like to get the video up Thursday before the premiere on Friday if I can. So anyway, that's how it goes. You guys don't know how much you mean to me, and I mean that from the heart. Uh, yeah, I had some new people here. I always appreciate the old people, people who are always here, but it's always nice to hear from new people that are watching. And this Now and Then that came out has really, really helped me get a lot more subscribers. I got a lot more subscribers from this. This was a real good run, this Now and Then thing. And a lot of new faces, or so to speak, faces, and commenters. And yeah, that's really good. So thank you all. Talk soon. Bye.